interesting facts about deer. Deer are herbivorous animals with a beautiful appearance and agile movements that have been able to adapt to the harsh conditions of their environment by evolving over the past millions of years. This calm and noble animal is known for its beautiful horns, elegance, speed of action in stressful situations, and unique ability to digest diverse vegetation. In the continuation of the series of articles about animals, this time we have gone to the deer, and we intend to provide you with reading information about this magnificent animal. Stay tuned with Adriana Jones. All kinds of deer. All species of deer belong to the deer family, which is a subgroup of ungulates. Giraffes, pigs, camels, sheep, cows, and hippopotamuses can be mentioned among other animals with a pair of hooves. In general, types of deer are divided into three main types, which are 1. Caprylani species. This species, which is also known as the new sheep deer, includes reindeer or caribou, white-tailed deer, and moose. 2. Cervini species. This species, which is also known as the old sheep deer, includes the wapiti deer, the marrel, the tropical howler deer, and the kakli deer. 3. Hydropotami species. This species includes water deer. The terms new lamb and old lamb actually go back to the evolution of deer. This division was made due to the fundamental differences in the skeletal appearance of this animal that were created over time. Many people believe that the deer family only includes the white-tailed deer, the marl, the antelope, the wapiti, the reindeer, and the moose, but this family is much larger than what is thought. Scientists disagree on the exact number of species, but many of them believe that there are at least 40 species, each unique in its own way. Some sources put this number at more than 50 species. Fossil evidence shows that deer probably evolved about 20 million years ago. The early species of this animal were probably small creatures with simple horns and ivory-shaped teeth. Many species appeared during the Pleistocene period, including the gigantic Irish papatids, whose horns probably weighed up to 40 kilograms. Appearance characteristics of deer. Most species of deer share a series of characteristics, including 2 hooves on each foot, a 4-parted stomach, elongated and long legs, a short tail, and a brown, red, or gray body coat. The most obvious feature of the deer is the horns on its head, which actually distinguish male and female deer. Male deer are usually horned and female deer are hornless. Both males and females have horns in the reindeer species, and none of them have horns in the blue deer species, and ivory-shaped teeth are seen in their mouths instead of horns. The smallest and largest deer. The smallest species is the humble poodoo deer, whose length reaches between 30 and 90 centimeters, and the largest species is the moose deer, whose body length reaches 3 meters and weighs more than 680 kilograms. In general, in all species, male deer are larger than females. Deer antlers. Deer antlers are a combination of simple bone, skin covering and blood vessels that help the antler to grow sufficiently. It takes a few months for the horns to fully grow, and then this velvety covering also disappears. These horns play an important role in fighting and attracting female deer during mating. Since antlers require a lot of energy to grow, their size indicates the strength, fertility and overall health of the male deer, and female deer are attracted to deer with larger horns. These horns also help the position and hierarchy of the deer in the group. The size, curvature and structure of the horns are varied among different species. For example, some deer like the mouse have wide horns, while others have long horns with several branches. It is interesting to know that the reindeer has the longest horn relative to its body size. Has behavioral characteristics of deer. Deer are social animals that usually move in small herds to eat, mate, and protect themselves from enemies. In more populated areas, depending on the abundance of food sources and the population composition of deer, very large herds of this animal can be seen. Some species are migratory by nature and travel hundreds of kilometers with the herd. Deer rely on their sense of smell and vocal communication to live in a herd. Many deer have a gland near their eyes. By rubbing the body of the deer against the trees, this gland emits a scent, and the territory of the animal is marked. There are other glands in the feet and soles of the deer. Deer's habitat. Deer live on almost every continent on Earth, including North America, South America, Europe, and Asia. Africa is home to only one species of deer, the Barbary merle, and Australia has no native species of deer, but several species have been introduced into its wildlife. Deer live in deciduous forests, tropical rainforests, wetlands, and grasslands. A few of these animals are also found in the cold tundra of the north and feed on sparse vegetation. Deer can adapt to urban and suburban environments. In other words, even if humans encroach on this animal's habitat, it can adapt to the conditions. Deer food. Deer are herbivores, and their diet includes a wide variety of plants, including leaves, grasses, flowers, and fruits. This animal belongs to the family of ruminants and can ferment and decompose plants. With its four-part stomach, each part of the deer's stomach has different microbes that help improve digestion. After the food is processed by the first stomach, the deer regurgitates it into the mouth and tries to re-chew the tough parts. Then the other parts of the stomach continue the digestion. Unlike many ruminants, including sheep and cattle, deer are more careful in choosing food and prefer higher quality foods that are easier to digest because they need a lot of energy and nutrients to grow their horns. The enemy of the deer. Deer are an important food source for many natural predators, including bears, jaguars, tigers, lynxes, coyotes, wolves, and large carnivores. Birds and small mammals may also feed on deer carcasses. Lone deer, especially those that are not very old, are more vulnerable to being hunted. It is interesting to know that deer are not defenseless against wild hunters, but if it is a matter of choice, they usually prefer to run away rather than fight. White-tailed deer can run at a speed of 48 km per hour, and the jumping range reaches 9 meters. Lone moose are also often not in much danger of being hunted, thanks to their large size. Among the other factors that threaten the life of the deer, we can point out excessive hunting, climate change, and the loss of habitat for some species of deer, especially in South Asia and the Pacific region. Although with the restrictions applied, their population can be reduced. Controlled lice, parasites, ticks, and various diseases are also a threat to the deer population. Some of these diseases can be transmitted to other animals, especially livestock. Birth of deer. Deer mate for a short period every year, in most species. Males are with several females during this period, but some species prefer monogamy. Due to intense competition during the mating period, males become aggressive towards each other and try to protect their territory and mates from other competitors. As mentioned earlier, the size of the horn is very important in mating. The pregnancy period of a deer can be between 6 and 8 months, and 1 or 2 deer are born in each birth. While grazing, the mother deer hides her young in the surrounding vegetation until they are old enough to move with the mother. Cubs are usually born with white spots, which helps camouflage them from predators. They are weaned at 2 to 5 months of age, but may stay with their mother for up to a year. Male deer often play very little role in raising young. Deer antlers begin to grow after 1 year of age. Longevity of deer: a deer can live up to 12 years in the wild, but various threats such as natural predators, hunting by humans, and collisions with vehicles have greatly reduced its lifespan to the point where many deer usually do not survive more than 5 years. The danger of deer extinction from the beginning to the middle of the 20th century, due to the indiscriminate hunting of deer, the population of this animal decreased to a great extent, but it grew again with the measures taken in this field to create the deer population. The white-tailed deer is one of the most populous species, and it is estimated that there are about 30 million of them living around the world. However, many species of deer, including the Iranian yellow deer, the South Andean deer, the Indian hog deer, and the Bowen deer, are at risk, and some deer, such as the blue deer and the reindeer, are close to vulnerable status. Interesting facts about deer: the deer plays an important role in various cultures and mythologies around the world. The paintings of the famous Cave of Lascaux, which date back to 17,000 years ago, are interesting pictures of horses, deer, and other animals. The deer is a symbol of power and nobility, and in medieval Europe, its image was drawn on many flags, banners, and coats of arms. Deer live on all continents except Antarctica. Every year after the end of the mating season, the deer's antlers fall off and grow again. Baby deer usually start walking half an hour after birth. Baby deer do not have a special smell, and this helps to protect him from enemies. Deer is a good swimmer. A deer has 310 degrees of vision, compared to 180 degrees for humans. This animal has good night vision and is more active, especially at twilight, due to its very good vision.